And hi everyone, I'm Steven.
Hi, I'm Tony.
It's Tony, and we're social studies teachers, colleagues, we've been around for a little bit here. And today we thought we'd make a video and talk about assessment. Isn't that a fun word to use?
I love assessment.
Do you really?
No.
Okay, well, this is the place to be then. So, you guys all know what assessment is, right? You know there's two different types of assessment, that there's formative assessments and there's summative assessments. We kind of want to focus on this video with formative assessments, and you can see there why you would use different assessments. When it comes to formative assessments, one of the things that we noticed in the 20-minute high impact survey was that you know we didn't really see a lot of the formative assessment being driven by the objectives of the lesson or the unit. It was difficult trying to see teachers use formative assessment and then from that use that to impact the lesson. And so teachers changing the lesson on the fly or whatnot as things go. Of course, we know they can be robust, they can be quick and easy, and then there's a whole bunch of different suggestions or ideas for any sort of formative assessment. Tony, what do you like to use?
I like pair sharing more than anything. I think it really lends to a real quick, easy formative assessment where the kids can exchange ideas and you can correct them. You can walk around the room and actually listen to what they're saying and help them if they don't understand. I like turning to your neighbor. I do use exit tickets from time to time as well, but I really use the pair share more often than anything else.
Awesome. Yeah, pair share is a great tool. I like to use that. I used to be big into exit tickets for a while. The problem with exit tickets, of course, is you can't use that to inform your lesson because they're on their way out the door. All right. Well, we wanted to give you an idea of another type of formative assessment in a minute here, but first I wanted to share this with you as well. This is kind of the what Jim Knight's approach for formative assessment, the idea that it's a 7-step process, identifying your questions, answering the guiding questions, developing specific proficiencies, informal assessments that are quick, and then there's a whole bunch down here we can use, using the assessments effectively, modifying and teaching your learning, and then of course revisiting, reflecting, and revising what it is that you're doing. So I just wanted to put that graphic up there. I think that's kind of a nice way to visualize what formative assessments are, how they work, and really why they're beneficial for us. Okay, so let's get into a little bit about what these are. And to be honest, you know, like we have here, it's something that we do quite often. The difference is that a lot of times we don't make it obvious. You know, we don't say something to the students like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm assessing you right now." You know. But there are times where we read the students, right? Like, you just know they don't got it, right? So we change it around. So that's just some things to be thinking on when it comes to formative assessments. What's the purpose behind it? Do students know that we're assessing them? And how do we reflect on that performance? I think is really important. Anything to add?
I agree. No, I agree.
Cool. All right, so I want to share with you guys one of my personal favorite ones, and big shout out to Chad Rusk for suggesting this one to me, and boy, was it a lot of fun, and it's called Quizizz.com. Now, Tony, you've never heard of this before.
Never heard of it before.
So he's going to be our guinea pig on video here live, so we get to watch how things work. But Quizizz.com is really cool. It's similar to Kahoot. You know, don't tense up yet, because you can create your own quiz and stuff like that, and I don't know about you, but that Kahoot music is so annoying. And you hear it from the classroom next door, and you're like, oh, God, come on, do something else. So anyway, so one of the cool things about Quizizz is there's a lot of differences. They can see their progress as they go, where Kahoot, you can kind of tell what you're doing. You can graphically project it up, which is kind of cool. Students, to access this from home, you can assign homework quizzes. I was amazed when I did this in my AP Human Geo class this year. 21 out of my 23 students did the homework quiz.
Oh.
Not for our homework, just practice for a test. It's amazing. The cool thing too is, especially if you have students with accommodations, it can read questions and answers out loud to students. This is a relatively new feature. So if you have the more visual auditory learners, that is very powerful. And also something that's relatively new is that you can create flashcards for students. It'll actually make flashcards out of questions that are wrong.
Wow.
And students can use that to basically look through things and study. and it saves all your data. This has been a godsend for me with National Board. We have to have all this assessment data and stuff. For those of you guys doing slows, if you need data and stuff, it's got your item analysis, missed questions, that sort of thing.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Very helpful.
Yeah, so you want to see what it's all about?
Let's see it.
All right, so I'm going to walk you through on the computer here. And meanwhile, if you want to follow along on your laptop as well, you can. So the first thing we have to do, of course, is log in. So you would click on log in here. Now, this is the first time for you, so it might be something where you have to create an account. But see where it says sign up with Google? That's all you got to do. So for me, I'm going to go to log in with Google. All that good stuff. Meanwhile, Tony is putting in his social security number. He's putting in his bank account information. It might take a minute or two. He's got to, remember all that stuff, passport info. There you go. All set. Now, when you get to your dashboard here, it says, what do you want to do? One thing I love about Quizizz is you can search just like Kahoot. You can look for quizzes that have already been made. So what's something in AP Psych, maybe a unit or something like that, that students maybe struggle with or something?
Neurology, the brain.
And I might type in AP Psych, something like that. I went through and spent about 20 minutes and found quizzes for each of my AP Human Geo units. I couldn't believe it. Yep. You can choose any of these, and on the right side here you can see some of the different questions that are there. So you can pick shorter ones, you can pick ones that are, longer and stuff. So
that's a nice function to be able to see a preview of what the quizzes are looking like created by other people. Yeah, that's a nice function.
Now, not only that, Tony, but you can also take this and I can say, all right, I want to add this to my collection. Sorry about that noise. As you guys can see, I've got collections here. I've got basically folders for every single unit. And within that folder, I've got 3, 4, whatever of these different tests. As a teacher, this is great because you can also take them and you can create your own using pieces from. So it's very useful. So I might go down here and say AP Psych Neurology, right? So that's going to be my new collection. Great. And boom, it's been added to my folder. So now, next time I go, I can just go and log in, no problem.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Simple.
It is. And I'm going to show you now how you can do a real game. If you want, go ahead and open, go ahead and open the quiz creator there, and you can kind of see. Here's where you would. So go ahead and type another AP topic, since you already saw what you can do with neurology. Now Tony's using his computer, right? So we can't see what he's typing in. He's typing in motivational psychology with AP there, just to narrow it down a little bit. All right, and you can see there's a whole bunch of different results. Okay, so let's now take a look at creating a quiz. So you found the quiz. You can use the one that's already there. You can edit it. All right, and then you can choose over here. There's different games that you can host. All right, a live game is clear. You do that in front of the class, right? Homework game is you set it open for a certain amount of time, and then you can allow students to do stuff, whatever they want, and then there's solo game. So let's do a live game, okay? So I'm going to click on live game, and then I'm going to, where it says require login, students, you could do that if you wanted to give them an account and have them log in and limit them to a certain number of tries.
Okay.
Okay, or, this is relatively new, you can set it to unlimited, and they can retry, which for a formative assessment is kind of nice,
Yeah,
right?
I would think that's what you'd want, right? Because then they can practice as many times as they need till they get a sufficient score.
Yep, exactly. And then you can choose your feedback for students. So do you want them to see the answers right away? If you want to make this a formal test of, a summative assessment,
Right.
you can do that.
Okay.
The leaderboard, this one is tricky. It allows you to see your placing as you progress, and you'll see that in a minute. We've got a couple Chromebooks here we're going to load up. But as you're following along, the kids can see where they rank, and they watch themselves moving up and down in real time, which is really neat, right?
That's cool.
It really motivates them. And then answers post-game, this allows them after they finish to revise or review what they wrote, and what they chose, I should say, and then they can see their answers. So a good
feedback right away.
Yep. There's a question timer here. This rewards students for answering earlier or quicker. I've actually started turning that off. Because what ends up happening is you have kids that try to answer quickly to get the points, and then they get the question wrong, so what's the point? You can shuffle questions and answers. There's no, like kind of like that kind of stuff, so that's good. You can have it play music, and you can have it show memes. Memes are things that just pop in every now and then, just to
Lighten it up a little.
bit, right, and help students relax. So I like to do that. So go ahead go to live game. And I'm going to host a game, you're going to host a game, and we'll connect to, this one, but just so you can see how it works.
Okay.
So then you just hit host game. Now as the teacher, you're going to have this on the screen. All right? And so now you've got your Chromebook here. We're going to pull our Chromebooks out, and you go to join.quizizz.com right there, and you type in the game code. So type in 381888. 381888.
You want to do yours?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yep. Okay, 381.
Now you can type in a name. If you saw the recent circular, one of the suggestions was to give students code names that are based on vocabulary, because that way you can keep track of the student, but nobody else knows who the student is.
That's a great idea.
I ran into that problem last semester. I had a couple students that were afraid to participate because they didn't want to be embarrassed in front of the class.
Understandable.
So they came up with excuses, my Chromebook's not working and stuff like that, So just a little pro tip for you. So I'm going to enter the game as Joseph. There's Buddy. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hit start. Now you'll notice that it gives you a little countdown. And then you get some nice kind of soothing music as opposed to the caboose like blah 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 thing that goes on. He's already answered a question and he got it right. I have no idea what these are, so I'm just gonna, guess on a couple of them there. But as it goes on, we can see our memes there, we see our score, and then we're gonna see how we change. And you can see up on the top there it says 50% accuracy. So in real time, you're seeing how your students are doing as it's going. And you can comment on that. You can say, guys, why are we only at 50% right now, right? And you can try to, get them to move on and stuff. And they'll pull Joseph. Joseph missed 2 questions and got 1 right, whereas Buddy here got 3 of them right. Mr. APT, show off indeed. And even the game's telling me to slow down because I'm going too fast. You can change it to show only the top 5, that sort of thing. Now, remember I said about the audio meter? Click on that gear icon on the top left and choose read aloud. And might need to turn the volume up. Okay, go ahead and pick one of them and then we'll move on to the next one. I'm going to take this so you guys can kind of see from here.
Question, define the biopsychosocial approach. Option 1, a combination of all theros together to explain someone's actions or thoughts. Option 2, NLT.
So that one was a giveaway, right?
That was hard.
Yeah, that was a tough question. But you get the idea
Question,
of how that could
define
be useful.
humanistic psychology, 1960s. Option 1, looks at the positive side, want to be our best selves by emphasizing our mental thoughts and behaviors.
Just gonna mute it from there. But let's say we're done now. So how can I end this here? So I'm gonna go up here, and you got different themes you can do, by the way, and it says end game up on the top here. So we're gonna just end the game. Goes through who won, all that kind of good stuff, right? Okay. Student side of things, they can create an account and stuff like that. But look at this now. As a teacher, we can see how each of our students did, right? Each of the questions. It color codes them. It's very easy for us to see, which questions they got right, which ones they got wrong. We can review questions, right? And then we can sort it by accuracy, so we can look at the ones that they did the best on, the ones they did the worst on. And then we can go to standards here, And if you create it and you tag specific standards, like what section of the book it's from or something like that, then you can tell the students where they were weaker, where they were stronger.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very helpful.
You can download the results here where it says review questions. This is really cool. This is where you can go through each question specifically and talk with the students. Why did you think about this, or why did you pick that? And from a student's perspective, we can't see it here, but if you look on your student's account, it'll tell you review questions right there, and you can kind of see. And then where it says study flashcards, click on that. So for you, we're going to just close that window, and then click on study flashcards, and then you can kind of see here it's creating flashcards based on how you did. You can just click the start button, and you can go through and you can say, okay, I think I know what define the behavioral view 1920s. Okay, who is that?
Behavioral view of the 1920s, that would be Watson.
So then I can flip and see if I'm right. Okay. Oh, and this is the source of our actions and the environmental stimuli rather than. So okay, so that was a definition.
Okay.
Not the person
Not
that
the
did
person.
it.
All right.
But did I get this or not? And if I said nope, I need to review it. It goes back in the queue for later. If it says I got it, take it out of the queue.
Nice. Very
That's
helpful.
a really,
Yep.
really useful
Yep.
tool.
Helps kids figure out, too, what they're not figuring out on the formative assessment, right? It
Right.
helps them narrow down their field so they can focus on the things that they're struggling with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a teacher, I mean, it's you saw how
Nice
quick and
thing,
easy it
too.
is to put it together, and you can
Mhm.
edit questions, make what you want, and the cool thing is then you could take it and then you can build off of that. I can download the results for later, and the cool thing, Tony, for me,
Mhm.
I said I was doing national board, I needed stats.
Mhm.
Oh crap, I don't, Quizizz, I logged in, boom, they were still there from last semester.
Very
So it's really cool as a way to show growth and building. I know we use Mastery Manager and stuff for that too, but pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, well, sounds like a good tool.
So, cool. All right, did you have fun?
Yes. Thanks, buddy.
Any questions at all? Anything you want to bring
No,
up?
it seems pretty easy to set up.
And of course,
And that means a lot coming from me. So,
as you guys know, we the tech coaches are here to help you guys. If you want to get more into Quizizz and learn more about that, feel free to talk to me or any of the other tech coaches. And we're here for you. All right. So that's it. I know this video went a little bit longer than I originally thought, but that's okay. I think we've learned some cool stuff out of it. So
thank you, Steve.
thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Good times. Peace out, everybody.